Tim Bailey, and this is my 2009 GTR. And so this car now, in its current form, makes about 560 foot-pounds of torque and about 545 horsepower. The car is just phenomenal right out of the box. The acceleration is impressive. It's massive. The hardest part to driving the car is just on daily driving is just keeping it between the lines. The car has a tremendous amount of torque. In fact, I switched out from the stock tires to an R compound tire just to get some extra grip for everyday driving. I know it sounds ridiculous, but I'm now using R compound tires as a safety feature.
Okay, so Tim Bailey had to work, so he gave me the keys. Okay, let's see. We're doing 55, 6th gear, punch it. Not bad.
The really unique thing about the GTR is the breadth of the power curve. I'll give you a great example. I have a 2004 Subaru STI that has 515 horsepower, and it's a remarkably fast car, but it doesn't feel as intensely fast as the GTR because the GTR makes so much torque so early and it carries it such a long way through the power curve. These cars are at 500 foot-pounds at the wheels by 3,000 RPM, and they carry that torque until high 5,000. So it's a very muscular feeling car.
Okay, those brakes are pretty good too.
It's a beast. Nothing's beat me except for other GTRs. So.
Have you faced off against the GT3 at all?
No, I haven't faced off against a GT3. Local cars that would be, or any car that would be comparable to this would be like a ZR1 would be a great drag race. A GT3 RS would be a great drag race. The NHRA rules for drag racing say that anything less than 11.5 seconds in the quarter mile requires a roll cage. The NHRA developed those rules for older 1950s American muscle cars, which are flaccid and broken for the most part. And so those rules were designed for those cars, but nonetheless, the tracks are sanctioned under those rules. So even though this is a very stiff, rigid, ultra-safe supercar, we had to put in something that was NHRA legal. So local company put in this cage for me, and it meets the rules, and now I can go drag race as much as I want. The most important thing to have happen with this car was to develop a strong foundation for off-the-shelf mapping for our Cobb access port, and that's been done. And I'm using lots of cars around the world now to make sure that every mapping is good for different world regions and fuels. I think the next step for this car is turbos. The last car I tuned on larger turbos was 780 at the wheels. If I could tell Nissan what to do to these cars next, I would remove some of the electronic nannies. The traction control needs to be a little less aggressive. So right now, if you run with the traction control off, you're sort of in your own hands and you need to be a skilled driver. If you run with the traction control on, it is a little bit too intrusive. So I'd like for them to give us a little more sideways.
Oh, that was fast. That was really fast. Holy sh! So this car doesn't use regular fuel, does it?
Oh, no, sir. I failed to mention that it uses ethanol. It's a blend of ethanol and pump fuel called E85. It's a biofuel, so it's politically correct. It's good stuff. Also makes great power, 105 octane. It is perhaps the best thing for performance tuning that's happened in the last 5 years.